It has been a minute, child. So I'm hoping that notifications go out, and I need to test my Wi-Fi. But if you are watching this and I'm not currently live, that means I was able to leave up the replay. So, hey, and welcome to the replay. I hope that you're well. I pray that you are having a blessed day. And if you're feeling a little off, that's okay. We human, but I pray that your day gets better. This right here is just a catch-up session between myself and the subbies, because it's been a minute, y'all. So, and right now I'm trying not to get distracted because my neighbor's kids. I was just like, Lord, hi, sissy. But I'm hoping, I'm like, Lord, they sound like they're trying to come through. So, but they upstairs running. But anyway, if you're watching the replay, hey, I'm just kind of waiting on notifications to go out, and then we'll catch up. Hey, naturally, Donna. Hey, everybody. As y'all are coming in, it has been a minute since I've been live on this channel, and so that's what I wanted to talk to y'all about. Just kind of let y'all in a little bit. So I'm gonna wait a couple more, maybe about 30 seconds or something, and let some people come in. It's always awkward when you go on somebody live and they just like, come on in, come on in. I'm just like, if the people heard you saying come on in, I mean they already here. So what do you mean come on in? So anyway, I hope y'all are doing well. It's been a minute since I've been live on that channel, on this channel, and so I just kind of was catching up with you all. I'm getting ready to start back posting content here, in addition to Fantasy City as well. But I really want to get back to posting here. But before I start posting, I was just like, I think I should go live just to kind of catch up and see how everybody is doing. Life for me has been, it's been great. But I kind of wanted to explain my absence because I honestly don't know when the last time I posted here. I know we did a fast together. I want to say maybe April or something like that. But anyway, so we're supposed to be praying on Monday mornings. What happened with that was I stopped because the first week, hey boo boo, the first week I was out of town. I forgot to send notifications. I wouldn't be on. Then after that, my son, which I have to be quiet because he in the other room asleep, but he ended up with hand, foot, and mouth, and so he wasn't able to go back to school. And so he's actually with me this week. I'm praying that he goes back on Monday. But yeah, that's why I haven't been live, because I've been on mommy duty. But as far as not posting content, y'all, when I say listen, listen, when I say life got real interesting. Life got it really interesting. Not in necessarily a bad way. But y'all know I'm really big on prayer and fasting, right? Like I literally live a lifestyle where it's like I'm naturally crazy and I have to bring me under subjection. So I fast a lot to do that. But y'all know biblically, not you call me auntie. You think you funny, huh? Hold on. But y'all know biblically, after a fast, sometimes even during it, you go through a test. Like, for example, a lot of people talk about Esther's fast, right? And she did what she did. You read the book of Esther or whatever, but it is a test for her. It's like, okay, I did all the fast and I'm believing and praying, but I could literally lose my life by going into the king. This is a test. Am I going to be courageous, or am I going to choose comfort? And then, of course, Jesus is our ultimate example, that he go through the fast situation. And of course, he's tested in the wilderness. Not my air gonna cut on, but good because it's hot in here anyway. But anyway, usually after a fast is a test. And so that is exactly what I experienced. Like if we are doing a fast together corporately, I share. But if I'm doing something private, I believe that's between me and the Lord. Biblically, I keep it to myself. And so the top of this year, I did some private fasting. And when I say, like, I would, it wasn't like I was fasting like, Lord, I want this, and this. I was just like, I feel like I need to decrease my flesh. I want to know you better. Let me go on a fast. Y'all, when I say that fast wore me out, and a lot of the tests that I dealt with after it were relational. Yeah, I dealt with a death in the family. I dealt with some sick relatives. Some things happened with business. God helped me to work that out. A lot of different things happened, but a lot of the tests that I endured were relational, and it made me go. She said, "Can we not do another fast until the rapture?" I don't like. Listen to me. It's like I know we have to. It's a mandate for us, but look, because it's like the Bible say when you fast. Like I ain't asking you gonna do it, but I'm just like Lord, I need a break, Jesus. But what happened was after my season of fasting, I got tested a lot with relationships. Some people that I thought was gonna be in my life forever suddenly was gone. Different covenant relationships that I had, it suddenly came. But like when I say my heart was broken in so many different ways by so many different people, and I still kind of just like Lord, what was the reason? But a lot of what I dealt with, the Lord was teaching me how to have peace. He was developing my character. So now I know for a fact that if you do something to harm me, I ain't gonna get on the social media and blast you because I didn't. And I know how to forgive and just different things. It was a lot of character development that I had to go through privately, and the Lord used people to do it. And it's just like, of course, iron sharpens iron or whatever, and then even gold is purified in fire. And if you think about a diamond, it got to go under pressure. Hey, but it's just that was my season, and I feel like the reason I had to be quiet for a while because some of the things were so severe. Hey, Jazz. I talked about it on the Fan City channel, but it was even to the point where I'm currently, I might potentially have to testify in something legal because of something not that I did, but something somebody else did, and it broke my heart. If you saw the videos where I talked about it, go find it. It's on TikTok, but there was just different things that I experienced by the hands of people, but I truly believe that God allowed it to happen to refine me. And so the reason I had to shut up for a season was because, and I thank God I'm not a pastor's pastors that they go through something, they still gotta get up on Sunday. That's not me, amen. But what happens is I feel like sometimes where people mess up is when they're going through a season of development, especially if you are a content creator, because you're relying on the content to make money. And that's why I thank God I have Faye in the City and I have my Champion Beauty so that I don't have to rely on just Faye and Faith to pay my bills and like force myself on camera. But I say that to say sometimes when you're going through a development season, you need to be quiet. You need that dark season. You need to be by yourself. Sometimes you need solitude. And when you're relying on content creation to pay your bills as a Christian content creator, you're not really as inclined to sit down for a minute because you like, I need my check, I need my money, I gotta, we gotta stay on this momentum and things like that. So sitting down and taking a sabbatical is not something that you aim to do, which is why, and I say this with respect to her. Yeah, y'all know the one girl, she was like, the liquid income, I don't have it anymore. Her, I feel like sometimes a lot of extra darts are thrown her way because she's going through her development publicly. And sometimes you need a season to sit down and be quiet. And so when I was in that season where a lot of things happened that just like straight broke my heart, if I had got on camera, there's a chance that instead of giving you what it is that God would want me to say, that I would have been bleeding all over y'all, meaning y'all would have seen my bitterness, y'all would have seen my upset and the questions that I had before God. So I had to sit down and get my heart right so I could make sure whenever I do get back on this channel, that it's actually what God wants me to say and not me trying to subliminally get revenge on people. Because it's real easy to do that when you have a camera in your hand. You can try to make it seem like, well, I'm trying to give an inspirational message when in reality you subliminally distance somebody. And so I just wanted to make sure my hands was clean. And so that's why I had a season of quiet. I was just like, okay, I need to grow up and I need to develop and I need to do it the right way and not try to force myself on camera just because it's the opportunity to make money. So I just kind of wanted to come on here and check in with y'all, let y'all know where I have been. And now that I got my mind right and I'm feeling great, I can get back on. I'm actually waiting because I have to take my car in. Girl, wait a minute. So listen, 4 brakes and rotors. I thank God I only had to come up off $60, but because somebody decided they wanted to bless me. But I was just like, if I had to do it, it was gonna get done. But at the same time, that got happened, and literally the next day, I'm driving. I put my foot on the gas. I'm just like, what is this? What is this? What is this? Then I park. Child, I can't put it in reverse. Transmission gone. So I was like, okay, now I got to take the car to the shop and get that resolved too. And so I thank God that I'm able to, but at the same time, I'm just like, all right, now, Jesus, I don't want to do nothing else. So that's why I was like, I got a little free time. I'll wait to get the car together or whatever. But I really just was like, okay, well, I got this little minute before I jump back on and just like this video, that video. And I thank God that He's giving me some content that I wanted to talk to y'all about. I was like, well, let me just pop on live and say how y'all doing. And speaking of new car, let me tell you something. That might be what's happening, because I'm like, okay, now all these funds that I'm about to put in this vehicle, at this point, you might as well just get another one. And I say that because I'm like, okay, I have been saying, Lord, I do actually want a new car. And that's why you gotta be careful what you pray for. I did tell the Lord, I was like, I want a new car, and I wanted this year. I was like, either this year or next year, but I really, really wanted one this year. And so now that I'm like, I got to put some money in the transmission, depending on what this final bill is, I'm about to be like, listen, thank you, but no thanks. We're going shopping. So listen, that's the Lord tell you get a new car. Listen, I've been trying to hold on. I listen. I like my little zoom zoom. Okay. Somebody told me like these cars last forever. I was like, you sure? Are you sure? Because it's a Toyota. I'm like, y'all say forever. Really? Like, what do you mean? I haven't even. I got this in 2020. Have the same car, and I got. Listen, if y'all finna hit me over the head, keep it. Okay, whatever. Let's get something new. But I'm trying not to make no emotional decisions. That's another thing I'm learning. We don't move in emotion. We use logic. But if the logic and the numbers is saying get something new, that's what we're gonna do. Amen. Amen. But anyway, I have missed talking to y'all. I actually do have a list of different things that I do want to share. Um, it's a few things. And then y'all know on the other channel we was doing a podcast, but the issue that we're having is Champ says he wants a new car. Champ, that boy. And I'm like, let me not get too loud because he might come busting through the door. And I'm like, but he's something. Toddler mommyhood is something. And I'm trying to watch my words because I don't want to say like I'm ungrateful, because it's just like this is the child I prayed for. This is the child I waited for. But my God. This is yeah. You better leave our nephew alone. Tell him to leave me alone. So am I gonna talk about it here? I could. Yeah, let's do that. Because I too don't do it on TikTok too, because I was gonna make a TikTok. But two very important anniversaries have passed for me since I've been on here. So July 13th, 2020 is when I had my weight loss surgery. And I thank God, I'm like, it does not seem like it's been 5 years. Um, it's the TikToks of mom making fun of their kids. It's all true, yeah. And so it's been 5 years since my surgery. And I thank God, because I remember when I first got it done, it was so many people like, oh, you gonna gain all your weight back, this, that, and the other, that people only lose weight for about a year and you gonna gain it right back. Like, there's been a few moments where I may gain a couple extra pounds, like when I had the baby, or when I had to take some time off just to get him in therapy and things like that. That I did gain a little bit, but I thank God that I never got back to where I was. And I'm grateful that I feel like my journey has been successful. I do still want to lose a little bit more weight, but I feel like my journey has been really successful, and I'm grateful for that. But the second anniversary is something that I feel comfortable talking to you all about on this channel, and that is July 15th, 2021 was the day I found out I was pregnant with Champ. So right here, trigger warning. If subjects of and moderators, can y'all help me? And just kind of like, while I'm on the subject, just put TW. We're talking about pregnancy loss. So if you can just, like, every couple minutes or so while we're on the subject, if you could put that there, just so if somebody see that, they know I don't really want to hear that. So the thought that I had was, so I've been super busy, and I didn't realize that July 15th came around. And I'm so sentimental, y'all. I'm the girl that cares about dates and things like that. So July 15th, 2021 is when I found out I was pregnant. And it just reminded me of God's faithfulness and how He's a promise keeper. And I say that because, for those that don't know, Champ is actually a rainbow baby. Um, in 2003, I was pregnant, and I remember I was so scared because I was 17 years old. I had just graduated high school. I was on my freshman year at my university, and I remember I was making dumb decisions, super dumb decisions, clearly. Uh, I was a girl that was super sheltered, and then I got a little taste of freedom, went nuts. And so I ended up getting pregnant. And I knew I was pregnant even without taking the test because my cycle stopped. And I was like, something going on here. And it was just a feeling I had in my body. And I remember being so overwhelmed. I was so scared because I was the church girl and not slipping up. And I remember I was scared of what my parents was gonna think because I was still living with them. I think at that time my job was paying me $5.15 an hour. Like, and to just even say that right now is crazy. And I just remember being so scared. And I remember praying every day. I was like, Lord, I cannot be pregnant. This cannot happen. This cannot happen. And then finally the day came where I woke up and I realized that my body was going through the process of rejecting that pregnancy. And I remember the entire time that I knew I was pregnant, I never called for an OBGYN appointment or anything like that. But when that happened, I was like, something going wrong. And it was so crazy how I did not want the baby, but when something started happening to my body, my maternal instincts turned on instantly. And I was like, something's wrong. I need to go to the doctor. I went to a clinic and they confirmed what was happening to me. And I remember feeling an overwhelming sense of sadness, but I was crippled with guilt because. Are we back? Are we back? Somebody say something in the comments. Oh my goodness. What just happened? Oh no. Do I need to end it? Okay, I'm gonna give it a couple more seconds. It looks like I might be live again. I'm gonna wait just a couple seconds. Okay, you're here. Okay. Yes. So I was super sad, but I felt super guilty. And I remember even though this happened in 2003, that was a feeling that I carried with me all the way up into 2021. And so thank y'all. I see it. Thank you. And so I remember that I cried so many tears about it. So many tears about that because it was just guilt, and shame has a way of being a bondage to you. And so I say all that to say when July 15, 2021 came, my instinct was, because y'all saw my pregnancy announcement if you were on the Fade in the City channel. I was super excited, super overwhelmed, especially because I had to battle with PCOS. And so there was a time where I thought I could not have kids. And so when I finally did get a positive pregnancy test, I was so grateful. But the immediate feeling after that was fear. And I was just like, oh my God, that level of pain that I had, I never want to experience that again. And I remember feeling that. So anytime, uh, shut up. And so I just remember anytime I felt anything in my body, I was just like waiting for the worst to happen. I was waiting, like, oh my God. Like if I just felt anything, I'm like, is it about to happen again? And we thank God that it never did. And my son is here and living and breathing, and I thank God for it. But it's just as I was thinking about that yesterday, it just put me in a place of such thankfulness because number one, like I told y'all, I dealt with PCOS. And so the reason PCOS was so hard for me because I was like, I already lost this kid once, and now you tell me I might not be able to have one. And so that's really what I was feeling a lot of. And so I was so thankful to God that that diagnosis did not have the final say so over my life. And I was so thankful to God that I got a second chance. And I just was thankful. It was just such a feeling of gratitude. Hey, Jennifer, I felt such a feeling of gratitude yesterday because of the journey of what it took to get me to motherhood. And while anybody who's ever experienced pregnancy loss can tell you, it doesn't matter the amount of time. I understand. I understand, Jazz. All my love to you. But it's like it doesn't matter the amount of time. Like I told y'all, it happened in 2003, and in 2021, I still would cry about it. And so it's like the time, how people say time heals all wounds. It makes it more manageable, but it doesn't make it go away. And so the fact that something that I had been carrying and wanting a second chance, that God finally allowed it. I was so grateful to be in a season of promise. I was so grateful that the diagnosis didn't win. I was so grateful that guilt and shame prior to that, and it was lifted from my life. But most importantly, I thank God for his sovereignty. And I say that because yes, I was sad about the loss, and yes, I was it was traumatic, but at the same time, God always does everything well, and everything that he allows is for our good. And while I'm not saying that me losing was a blessing, I do thank God that the life that my son has now is totally different than the life I would have given that kid. Because, like I told you, I was making $5 an hour and only working 15 hours a week. And so I was not in the place to do it. And so I do, while it was extremely heartbreaking, I do believe God's mercy had the final say so, and how sometimes what we see as a closed door or a missed opportunity, and not to minimize a pregnancy loss by any means, I mean just in general, sometimes the very things that we see as a closed door, a missed opportunity, God saying no, feeling like God is not fair, when life walks you through it, or time happens, or just life and experience will show you, God does everything well. His timing is so perfect. His mercy is in his no. His love is in his no. His protection sometimes is in rejection. His love and protection is in your waiting season. I look at, yeah, we not going on no fast no time. So not corporately. Because listen, we're going to come back to that. But like sometimes the hardest, most brutal things that we go through, God gets the glory out of it. And sometimes, what not all, sometimes he always will get the glory out of everything that we go through. But it's just like the waiting season. It's being in that middle where one chapter closes, you're waiting on the next door to open, and right now you just waiting. Sometimes waiting can be overbearing. I know sometimes a lot of times in the church, there's a hyper focus on relational statuses, meaning singleness. And sometimes, like if say you're waiting for marriage, that can be hard. Waiting for parenthood can be hard. Waiting for a career transition can be hard. Waiting on a family member to break free from addiction can be hard. Waiting for anything can be hard. But when God finally opens the door, it finally is like, okay, this finally makes sense. And while I don't like the journey that I went through and some of the things I experienced doesn't feel good, in the end it makes sense. And you just like, I can't help but glorify God. So it's like, I don't like what I experienced, but at the same time, I'm so grateful that Champ gets the healed version of me. Whereas that kid, had he lived, he or she would have got a totally different version. Like I lived a very traumatic life, super traumatic, like in pre-therapy, because I'm very much so, Jesus does everything. He got all power, but sometimes God, he needs you to go to therapy to have a human help you walk it through. And so had that kid been here, they would have had pre-therapy me as a mom. Whereas the I'm able to see now when I'm disciplining my child, is this me discipline or is this anger? And if it's anger, you need to sit down so that your child does not have a life that they're recovering from, like as far as trauma and things like that. So like basically I'm saying Champ gets a totally different version of me than what that situation would have gotten. And so I'm able to see the good in it. I say all that to say that I can see the good in the pain. And so if you are going through a painful season, just know that I totally understand. Life can definitely put you in a chokehold, waiting on something that that feels like vindication can get you in a chokehold even right now. And this is just being transparent. I told you I've been going through some relational things. I've had people do things to me lately that have broken my heart, and I've stayed silent, not because I cannot speak, but because I was even reading in Psalms 39 about keeping a bridle on my tongue. Lord, let my words, this is my prayer, let my words be rooted in love and in healing. And even if somebody else makes a mistake, because even good people make bad decisions sometimes. And if their mistake caused me pain, let me not strike back in anger, but let you vindicate me. But sometimes waiting on the Lord to get somebody back, even though we shouldn't, that shouldn't be our focus. But let's be honest, sometimes you're like, Lord, I need you to avenge me. Waiting on that avenging can be hard. Waiting on healing in your mind or your body can be hard. But at the same time, when God does finally give his final say, when God finally opens the door that you've been waiting on, when God finally moves and you see his judgment, you will see how his love was protecting you the entire time, and how even in the waiting and the refining time, it hurts, but it's working for you the entire time. So I just want to encourage you, for anybody that's waiting on anything, if you're waiting on good news, if you're waiting for healing, if you're waiting for deliverance for yourself or somebody else, if you're waiting to be a mother, if you're waiting to be a father, if you're waiting to get married, if you're waiting on somebody in your family to be healed, if you're waiting for financial breakthrough, keep waiting, keep trusting, cling to peace. Know that his peace is a gift to you, and it passes all understanding. Guard your heart, guard your mind, keep your mind on these things whatsoever things are good, all the things in Philippians 4. Just do what you can to stay in a place of gratitude, do what you can to stay in a place of being solid in your faith, knowing that he that has begun a good work in you, he gonna perform it. And when the perfect time comes, the Lord will move for you. It does not always feel good to wait on him to move, but when he does, I promise you, it is the most fulfilling feeling ever. So that is one thing that I've been really just thinking about. I'm just like, Lord, I waited from 2003 to 2021. And when you finally did move, it was the most beautiful thing ever. So yeah, waiting sucks, but in the end, it's worth it. So, okay, let me read the comments. Somebody asked for a fast. No, ma'am. Sometimes we have to find the blessing within the struggle. Absolutely. God prepares us to make it through. Absolutely, he does. He does. His strength is made perfect in weakness. And when we cast our cares on him, he really does care for us. And in his care, there's his mercy, his grace, his protection. He's refuge. He's a fortress. He's everything we need and more. So yeah, waiting is not always easy, but it's always worth it as long as you're obedient. Because here's the thing, you could be waiting for a thing, and your disobedience, okay, that can put you on a different path. There was a situation that I had where I truly believe that the Lord may have been speaking to someone. I'm trying to watch my mouth. But I saw firsthand how the Lord's plan was unveiling in someone's life, and because they chose disobedience right when they got to the promised land, they lost everything. Think about it like Moses. It's just like, okay, Moses, listen, my beloved, I love you, but you cut up. So I'm gonna let you see the promise, but you ain't crossing on over. So I say, wait, but wait well. All right, let's focus on waiting well. You don't want to be waiting and then decide, you know what, I'm finna just cut up, and then you just your breakthrough was right there, and your cut up just made you disqualified, or it got to be more delayed because you acting for wait well. All right, that's why you keep your mind on Jesus, keep your eyes on him, and wait well. Hey, sissy, it's for sure been a hush season. I understand. It's marriage. I'm waiting, and all that's approaching me is marriage. Girl, ain't they some demons? We all have to be willing to put in the work ordained by God while we wait. Absolutely. Absolutely. Wait and serve. Wait and be graceful. Wait and be kind to other people. Wait and still be loving. Wait and still be kind. Wait and still show the fruits of the spirit. And that's the hard thing, because sometimes when you're waiting, you may feel entitled. I remember someone, and he meant well. I truly believe he meant well. But sometimes our emotion can cause us to misspeak. There was someone that I saw that he lost his child. And then months later, he encountered, oh, my ankle is getting stuck. He encountered another child who was sick. And he prayed for their child to be healed. And he said, God, you owe me this one. Let's wait well. Like, and that's the thing. It's like sometimes we can feel entitled. Like, for example, somebody mentioned marriage. Somebody could say, and I'm a woman, so I can speak from a woman's perspective, like, Lord, I've been waiting on marriage. I haven't been giving my body away. I've been serving in the church while I wait. I've been serving in the community while I wait. I've been beneficial to other people. I've been sowing seeds. I've been keeping myself. I've been doing my part. I've been fasting. I've been praying. And I see somebody who's been living a horrid life get married before me, and seeing someone else receive the blessing that you feel that you're entitled to based off your behavior can be hurtful. But that's the thing, we are not entitled to anything. Everything that we have is because God allowed it, and his timing is what we should trust in. But when we're looking at what other people have compared to what we think we should have in the certain time frame that we think we should have it, we're setting ourselves up for disappointment. And so that's one thing I would encourage people to do is wait well. Don't wait from a place of entitlement, because remember, your actions, they mean nothing. Everything that we have is because of the grace of God, not our actions. Yeah, of course, obedience is an amazing thing, but don't think that just because you're obedient to the word, you're automatically entitled to what you want when you feel like you're supposed to have it. Because if that was the case, I would have had millions of dollars 20 some years ago. I'd be like, listen, I was a good girl. I went to church. I wasn't in the street. I wasn't in the club. I wasn't doing all the things. I am entitled. No, that's the wrong attitude. Do what you do it unto the Lord for his glory and because you love him and because you want to be obedient, not because you're expecting a blessing in return. You understand? Does that make sense? I don't even know how I got there. Yes, the married man was why I started wearing a ring in the gym. And that's the thing. A lot of the married men be at the gym cutting up. So I started wearing a ring. And y'all know what is crazy? I found that when I would turn men down, they would be like, well, you can't, your man don't let you have friends and stuff like that. Crazy, right? But when I put on a ring, it's like they more respectful of that. Meaning they will respect another man's property more than they will respect a woman's no. That's sick. So, but at least that's my experience. I know that ain't for everybody. So let me not, okay, anyway. Yes. Okay, so anyway, that is why I want to pop in. I didn't want to just start posting videos again and you be like, okay, the girls, you all right, where you been? Like, I've been good. It's just I've been tested in so many ways. So many ways, and I didn't feel like it was healthy. Ain't no new friends over here. Listen. Okay, I'm trying not to speak out of turn. Okay. Let me stop because okay. Oh yeah, so anyway, yes, I new videos are coming very soon. I'm actually recording something tonight, and y'all can always, if you ever have something in particular that you think would be good for content. Now she said the city gang is closed, girl. Just might be, just might be. So the podcast, I naturally, y'all know I cuts up by nature, but there's two of us, and I try not to be more domineering just because my name is more known. So we're meshing together our personalities and our visions. And so while it's like our senses of humor are different, but the one common bond we have is God. And so our conversations naturally flow into what's natural for us. And I didn't anticipate, like, I knew it was going to be an element of faith to our podcast, but I didn't know it would be just like that. And so I was like, had I known that we would lean that way, I would have put it on this channel. And so, because that's, I love to be more faith forward here and let Faye and the City viewers have the option on whether or not they want to have faith-based content. So I think I might end up migrating to this channel because or maybe even make a whole new one. I don't know. But we haven't had the time to record anymore because our schedules, oh shoot, our schedules are so different, and we're trying to get that too. But there's so many things that we have coming up. I do have some content specifically for this channel that I'm excited about. I really have new vision for it, and I've been asking the Lord to keep me focused on him and not an algorithm, because it's easy, like I told y'all earlier, it's easy when you start looking at this from a place of influence. And because, like, respectfully, and I don't say this to be cocky, but I know how to be an influencer. I know how to make stuff go viral because I've done it before. I know how to troll and clickbait and things like that. It's easy to do that, which amounts to quick attention and quick money. However, I'm like, Lord, because I'm representing your name, everything that I do matters. when I'm doing it over here. And so I take that very, very seriously, because I feel like the scriptures to let us know that you're in a place of teaching, you're held to a higher standard. And it's like, whether or not people realize it, if you are a person that's trying to come off as a Christian influencer, you are held to a higher standard. So I'm like, Lord, let me not troll too much. Let me not give into the algorithm. But I do have some topics that I want to talk about. But I'm trying to make sure I do it in a graceful way versus just leaning into sensationalism, if that makes sense. But no, the city gang is not closed yet. I just, when it comes to beauty content, I do want to do more clothing stuff. But the issue that I'm having, y'all, and this is me confessing to y'all over here. I am so self-conscious about fashion stuff, just because so many people, well, I ain't gonna say so many people because I don't want to sound dramatic, but there are some who find my physique offensive. Not in the sense that I have done anything, but, and this is something I said on my Fan the City Live, that me and somebody skinny can have on the very same thing, but because my body is built different, some people naturally look at it as vulgar. Even though I'm just like, I didn't make this, and then the doctor didn't make this, God did. But at the same time, it's like I have to be so much more careful. And so, like, when it comes to the Fan the City brand, y'all know clearly I don't do my hair much anymore, because I'm like, I wear a lot of protective styles because I go to the gym. Keith, stay ready to fight. I love you. But it's just like, I haven't been doing my hair, but I mother loves to shop. But I sometimes find myself hesitating to post it, because not everything, but a lot of times people look at the things I do as vulgar. Like, if my top is a little lower, then that you supposed to be a woman of God. I'm like, but I am a woman of God. I'm a woman too. I want to look cute. But at the same, so it's like I'm constantly thinking ahead to make sure I'm not doing something to offend somebody. And so it's sometimes easier just for me not to do it. I'm like, girl, I ain't got time, because somebody gonna say this too tight. Somebody gonna say this. I don't have time, because y'all gonna get on my nerves. So I'm still figuring out what's next for Fan the City. Definitely still going to be in the health lane, but I'm still, mindful of how I post that. I do want to post more food content, because I do believe, and that is something that the Lord has burdened on my heart, is I feel like the I'm black, so I can say this. I feel like the black church is excellent in calling out every sin except for obesity. We call out every sin. And I won't say obesity is the sin. Gluttony. Okay, because I want to use the right word. Okay. These preachers with these big old bellies. Y'all call out everything everybody doing. Y'all in everybody business. But you not stopping yourself from going to Waffle House after you preach at these convocations. You not stopping yourself from being mindful of what you eat. You're not mindful. You're not exhibiting the fruit of the spirit, which is self-control over your eating. So that's something that I do, that is important to me as a black woman in the church. I want to, even though my walk is not perfect, I still have cleaning up to do too. But there's the thing, I try. It is on my mind. I'm mindful. I'm like, Lord, I want to honor you. Okay, I think we're back. Okay. Yes, I want to honor God in everything I say and do, and that includes in what I eat. So it's easy for the church to hyperfixate on praying. It's easy for the church to hyperfixate on lifestyles, but y'all not mindful of the sin that you're doing against yourself and eating 5 pieces of fried chicken. Okay? All right? Let's be mindful. And so that's something I do want to make more content about, is like how we nourish our bodies. Cuz like, exercise is great, and a lot of y'all shouting all day at church, because y'all know I'm Pentecostal. Well, at least I was raised Pentecostal. The church I go to is not a denomination, but the point is, I grew up Pentecostal. I grew up shouting and screaming, and just like everybody else. Y'all getting a lot of exercise at church, and then you turn around, you gorging yourself. And the reason you gorging yourself is because you have some cares that you ain't turned over to the Lord, and you're using food as a drug. And I'm speaking from experience, because I did it. Okay, so because I did it, and the Lord has blessed me to overcome it, I can speak to that demon. Okay, we keep judging everybody for everything. Let's judge ourselves for gluttony. Let's get ourselves together. Yee. So anyway, This live was not supposed to be this long. I was like, I'm gonna give it a little cute little 15 minutes, and then I get to yapping. Ain't that something? And I thank God this boy still asleep. He ain't bust this door open. I was just kind of glancing over there, but anyway, okay. I think that is enough for me. Once he goes to bed tonight, I am going to be filming some stuff. And so y'all should see me on this channel very, very soon. Thank y'all for your patience during my absence. I thank y'all for that for sure. Um, I'm hearing the word fasting, and I'm just like, Lord, I don't want to hear that. That's just being honest. No, but obedience is better than sacrifice. So we'll be back soon. But anyway, um, if you haven't been in your private time, make sure you set some time aside for the Lord, whether it's one day a week. That's an excellent way to start fasting. Maybe just if you're new to it, because there's power there. If you're new to fasting, maybe one day a week, take a few hours. She said, pray that away, ASAP. Is that him? Not me getting scared like this nigga Freddie. Oh, sorry. Never mind. I'm sorry. Key, you making me act up. Stop. Forget my mouth. But anyway, but yeah, that's a great way to start if you're new to fasting. Like pick one day a week and then just like for a few hours that day, set that time to the side, and then just prolong it. Just get your mind and your body ready. Y'all, fantasy trying to pop out. I pull in. Let me stop doing it because then somebody gonna be like, she treated like Sasha Fierce. No, Fantasy City is not a demon. Sorry. Okay. Anyway, this finna go left. So it was nice to chat with y'all. I'm starting to get a little sleepy, which means I'm gonna get a little loose in the lip. So I need to go. So it was nice to catch up. And I will see y'all here. If I'm able to get the video edited and posted tomorrow, I will. If not, it'll be the next day. I love y'all so much. Okay, I'll see y'all later. Bye.